Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Farrell SC, and welcome back to our single-player series in ARK Survival Evolved. So in the last episode, we went down to the bioluminescent biome, and not only did we get a couple of max-level dinos, we also found a particular spot right by that waterfall that we ended off the episode as a potential new base location. Because I came back to base and I realized it's getting a little tight here. I've gotten a few dinos and everything along the way, but overall, um, I think we're at the point that we're starting to outgrow this. It's fairly small. I mean, I could build a little bit more this way, but it does come down to the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of traveling that we need to do to not only get to the bioluminescent biome, but eventually we're going to be going all the way south to the biohazard area. So I think we're kind of getting to the point where we just need to, yeah, look for another base. So as you can see on the map, I have a total of 4 potential base locations, and what we're going to do in today's episode is I'm going to show you each and every one of those, kind of give my pros and cons between each of them, and then what you guys are going to do is you're going to let me know in the comments down below where you guys want the next base, honestly. Yeah, that's kind of the gist today. I'm going to get on the Ravager and start heading to the bases so I can explain the pros and cons of each one. So, see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so we are at the first potential base location. So just to kind of give you guys coordinates, give you an idea of where we are on the map. We are at 35.4 and 61.8. So this was actually where we started out the last episode, which is right by this waterfall here. So a few good things about this area. One, it is very safe. There's nothing that's really here. The closest threat is going to be down that way, pretty much where like those rocks are. That's where the Sarcos, the Carcanos, and you do get some, what are they called? Spinos over that way. But this overall relatively safe. Here's what I would probably do with this section. So right down here, I would probably put pillars up and I would extend going out this way, because this is all relatively flat, and all we have to do is we just have to put down a little bit of pillars and stuff just to kind of set this up. But we can make this look really nice, honestly. Probably what we could do, we can extend out a little bit out into this way. I don't want to go out there because there is a certain point where it drops off, and I don't want to fall. But you can do a lot with this area, honestly. A few more good things. There's plenty of resources around, as you can see. We have plenty of wood around, we have plenty of stone to make a stone base, no problem. We do have a couple of gas fans. There's one back there, there's one a little bit up the way that way, and I think there's one on this side. Metal may be an issue. Again, in this green area, there's not going to be a crazy amount of metal, so probably what we would have to do is kind of similar to, if you guys actually follow Fling or Fu, he's one of the more famous, more well-known ARK players, basically, that do guides and whatnot. His Season 4 on Aberration, he kind of set up his base actually right on the tree branches there and made this kind of like an entrance point, where you would take a Ravager, use a zip line, and kind of get across. That's kind of, I think, what we would do. The main base, though, would be on this side, and we would use this spot here, build it up, and kind of connect it to the trees, because right over there is a ton of metal. You can see right there, that's a metal node, that's a rock node, that's a metal node, metal, metal, rock, metal, rock, metal. Back there is a rock, metal. You get what I'm getting at, though. There's a ton of metal over there, and to be honest, anywhere in that biome, there's going to be more than enough metal. So one of the downsides, though, to this area is that, yeah, it's a little bit harder to access the blue biome, unfortunately, the bioluminescent, but I mean, we can always make it work with a couple of zip lines and whatnot. But this is the safest location out of the group. This is going to be number 1, 35.4, 61.9, and now we're going to move on to base number 2. Alright guys, before we get into base number 2, the location, first, just want to thank all you guys for, one, watching these videos and whatnot, and also thank the 40 subscribers to the channel. That's actually really, really cool, honestly. If you guys do like the content that I'm putting out, definitely subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And if you find yourself enjoying this one, definitely smash that like button. Again, it really, really helps me out. But we're on base number 2, and this is right over in the green area also. 41.7, 49.8. You guys can see the trend here. I actually do really like waterfalls in this game, honestly. And this one's an interesting build. So I'm probably going to have to get rid of the Carcanos first. Let's kind of get that out of the way. See if we're going to be able to do it in 6 shots. Probably not. Nope. Oh boy. We're gonna get taken from the sky, aren't we? And maybe not. Might be able to do this. Oh, jeez. Hey, there we go. Sweet. Okay. Oh my gosh. So just to give you an idea, that's one of the cons of the area. Yeah, so overall, this tends to be a really dangerous area. Not only the big stuff, in the water here, there is always a ton of piranha, which is going to be an issue when building here, because I will have to put pillars and whatnot down. But the idea is that I can actually extend this out a decent amount, and we can do a little bit of greenhouse glass here to kind of give us a view downwards. So it is actually kind of cool. There is one little interesting thing, though, that I want to point out to you guys that I actually noticed while kind of swimming here. So let me jump in the water. Obviously, we're in the water. We're probably going to get attacked a little bit. But there's this weird open spot right here. So we're under the waterfall, but see, they can't get through. And if they do actually try to come in, they'll die, because it's basically like them out of water. So what I could technically do is just slowly walk up, have them aggro me, walk back, and just get rid of them, basically. So what's good about this spot is I can put pillars in and whatnot in here, which is really nice, honestly. But yeah, overall, I think this would be a pretty interesting and a pretty nice build to be able to work on. It will make it a little bit easier that I can get under here and put my pillars in, just to see how far we can really extend out with this. So I think it would be a pretty interesting build. I would have to take the piranha and stuff into consideration when doing the build, but to be honest, I don't think it would be that bad. I would also have to take into effect the Sarcos, the Spinos that come here and everything like that, but we can kind of board this whole thing up and then make it look pretty nice, honestly. Let me kind of get out here. Let me get them to aggro me, and then I'll come back here. I do have to watch out, though, because that little lip, I can kind of jump out a little bit too far. Okay, now, you know what? I think we'll be okay. Let me just quickly try to get back. We're probably going to get attacked a little bit, but it's fine. Oh, get up. Perfect. Okay. But guys, this could be base number 2. Could do something pretty interesting with this. It's nice that it's flat there. It's flat here. Oh, pros and cons. So obviously, pro, building on that might not be too bad. It's going to be a little bit difficult with the piranha, but again, it's not the end of the world. Pro, we do also have that little flat spot here, so we'll make it a pretty even build, which is really nice. Resource-wise, we have a ton of resources around here. Access to the bioluminescent right over that away. Well, I'll actually use this, make it a little bit easier. There's a path right down that way where you can go down to bioluminescent. You can also take that path. You can also take that path there, basically where that parasaur is, and there's another path down to the bioluminescent that way. So it's not the end of the world. It's actually relatively easy. You can also actually use this little zip line here. Oh god, oh my god, I thought I fell. It's not a big deal if I did, but I could use this zip line here and zip line all the way down to bioluminescent too. So there are a few ways that we can go down. The biggest thing is going to be just defense here, just trying to put up a big wall to pretty much block anything out that wants to try to come in. But I do have a couple of interesting ideas for this area if we decided to do a build here. So this is base number 2. Let me pull it up on the map one more time. 4250.5 roughly. Let's move on to base number 3, which is actually going to be in the bioluminescent area. So I'll see you guys there in a few. Alright guys, so behind me is actually base number 3, and let me show you on the coordinates kind of where we are. So we're roughly at 42.8, 62 flat, and we're going to start out this with, unfortunately, a big con when it comes to this base. See those blue spores in the sky right there? Yeah, those are freezing spores. So to get up to this base, there's one of two ways, honestly. Well, there's three ways, actually. Eat a lot of aquatic mushrooms and just run up there. Problem is, you're going to have to do that every time when you come up and down, so it does get a little bit of annoying. Another way, you can put a zip line in and kind of just go around it. Downside to that is you're always going to have to bring a Ravager out, which isn't the end of the world, because to be honest, I think everyone pretty much brings just Ravagers out when they're traveling anyways, just because of how much weight they hold and everything like that. Third way is kind of interesting. You can do this. Just hug the right side here, kind of loop around that way. It is a slower process, but you don't need the mushrooms, and you don't need really anything else. So as long as you kind of hug this, because as you can see, it's kind of just spored in that area. So it is annoying, I get it, but if you don't really have the mushrooms or anything to deal with it, and you don't have access to zip lines, or maybe you just don't even have a zip line on you and you want to check out the space, it is possible. You're just going to kind of have to maneuver all the way around. Big con, though, right away, because you'd have to do that every single time leaving this space, but it does have a lot of pros, honestly. One, as you can tell, my Bulldog is not on right now. So this is actually, let's go to emotes, let's go to late. So I'm lit up, which typically saves you from nameless. I'll turn this off. You're too high up to actually get nameless to come out of the ground and attack you and everything. So that's a big plus, honestly. Two, very, very flat up here, and it is really nice with the crystals and everything like that all around you with this natural light. It is really nice. Three, there's a ton of gas veins here. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one over there, there's another one right there that's about to erupt. I think there's a total of like 12 to 14. There's another one there. Once you work towards the back, there's another 2 or 3. Two more back there, another one there. And then there's a couple over on this side. I mean, there's just an overall ton here. And you can see, like, this is all flat space that you can build on. You can build on this entire thing. Now, mind you, you're not going to be able to get rid of these big guys. But that's not that big of a deal, because I feel like you could put a stone platform in here if you want to. Like a stone cliff platform. Probably can't do anything on the crystals, but that's fine. I feel like you have more than enough room to kind of do plenty with this. You do have access to a lot of wood. It's actually these little trees right here. You have obviously a ton of access to stone, ton of access to crystal, which those are actually blue gems. So you have a ton of access to those too while you're up here. You have more than enough gas veins and stuff like that. You will have to watch out. There's a couple of spots that have these frozen spores. So you're going to want to bring a dino through these and get rid of them as quickly as possible before you build here. Another recommendation I would have is if you guys want to build here, or if possibly in this series we do build here, we're going to have to make a lot of gas collectors, because especially during earthquakes, they all go off at the same time, and this whole area basically becomes poisonous. So, yeah, not going to want to deal with that, honestly, every single time. So that's going to be one of the big moves that we're going to have to do first before coming to this potential base. Overall, though, not that many dangerous stuff up here. Once in a while, you will get a Megalosaurus up here that does spawn, but at the same time, if you... I'm kind of going slow because there's a... Yep, there it is. Frozen spawn right there. Sometimes back here, you will get a Megalosaurus, so just run on through. Make sure you have a stronger dino with you just in case if it does happen. But you do have this little point in the back that's actually kind of cool. Just a little lookout point, nothing crazy. Not sure what you'd want to do with this area, but it's a nice view overall. But this could be base number 3. Let me give you the coordinates one more time, roughly show you where it is on the map. 47.7 and 61.5. So this is potential base number 3, basically. If we don't use this as a base, that's totally fine, because I would totally use this as an outpost and do, like... I would use this for my gas veins, honestly, because there's just a ton of gas veins here. So this would definitely... We would utilize this in some which way, shape, or form. But like I said, you can either loop around, or I actually have a zip line set up somewhere over here. I don't remember, which you can just bypass all of it, honestly. So zip line makes life so much easier on this map. especially in the bioluminescent biome. But let's move on to the last base location, which is the more familiar one. We kind of saw it in the last episode, but I kind of want to give you the pros and cons of what I've kind of figured out with this base, and go from there. So let me head on there, and I will see you guys in a bit. So, after I kill this Nameless, I will give this one a shout. Personally, I'm not going to build here, because of the fact that, as you just saw, there is Nameless. But again, this is a relatively flat area. Let me show you where this is on the map, just so you guys can see. This is 4568.3. I'm not going to build here because, honestly, I think the other locations are a little bit nicer to work with. But if you are looking for a flatter area, this is a pretty nice one, too. It actually does link back there to the next base that we're going to, which is the Crystal Waterfall. I'm not going to go that way because it gets really dark, and there's a very good chance a Megalosaurus is back there, and I'm not really the most equipped to deal with it right now. So I'm just going to take the longer way, but overall, I mean, you have a lot of space to work with here. You do have the metal structure in the middle, but again, you probably can utilize that somehow when it comes to your base build. Overall flat area, pretty easy to get to, honestly. You will have Nameless, though, so you do have to watch out for that. Downside, not really access to water, but you do have a decent amount of stone, metal, and all your other resources basically up here. But yeah, one more time on the map just to kind of give you an idea. This one will not be marked, but 45.2 and 68.2. So let's head to the waterfall base, and I will go over the pros and cons of that one. So see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so now we are coming up on the last base that I want to talk about in this little quick video, which is the waterfall base. And let's be honest, that's just... it's gorgeous. It's a really, really nice area, honestly. There is a couple of downsides, though, with this area. It is really narrow. So if you are going to build a base, it's going to be a little tight. You can kind of maneuver and everything like that with it. You do get these, which is actually kind of cool right here. I'm playing, I've kind of been going back and forth between PvE and PvP, which, just to give you guys a little note, if you're playing PvE, you will not be able to put this gas collector in. The reason is, in PvE, you're not allowed to build any structures near a loot drop, which the loot drop comes basically right here. If you turn it to PvP, you can build anywhere. It doesn't make a difference. So you will start collecting, this will actually go in, and you'll start collecting the gas. If you actually go PvP to put this in, then you switch back to PvE, the gas collector will stay here. It will not collect any gas, and it makes it, and the vein does not recognize it, so you still will get poisoned. So once you put this in, and you put a base here, yeah, you're going to want to play PvP at that point. You're not going to want PvE, which, single player, the only difference between PvP and PvE, besides the building aspect, is when we use the cryopod, you get the 300 seconds you have to wait for. PvE, you can throw it out right away, and you can throw another one out right away. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just going to keep you safe here, basically. And never mind, somehow I still got poisoned. How did I get poisoned? Alright, I'm going to have to look into that, because that's kind of weird. I didn't switch it back to PvE, did I? Let's see. No. Really interesting. Alright, not sure why that's kind of doing that. That's weird. Alright, so okay, so that's kind of weird. But anyways, there's a lot we can do with this area, honestly. So, the pros of this area. 1, water access, which is really, really good. 2, beauty, obviously. This just looks really, really nice. 3, there's a lot of different levels that we can actually work with this base. You can actually put a main base down here if you want, whatever. And then up on top, we can actually put, like... you can't obviously put anything on the actual Let's just jump off. That makes it so much easier. On the actual crystals, you can't put anything on there, but like right on the side, like right in between the wall and the crystal, you can actually put stone cliff platforms, which then you could use the crystal as your just natural bridge to get over to maybe another side. So we can kind of finesse the two where maybe we put a stone cliff platform there, stone cliff platform there, or something like that, or maybe higher. I don't know. And then what we could do is we could even take this and put like an elevator that would drop down to that area, and then put a main base in here. Like, I don't know. I mean, really, you could do pretty much anything with it. And what's actually good is, up on top, there's a couple of flat spots up there, too, which you could actually use when it comes to... Yeah, see? Why is that not working? It's really weird. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm not really sure why it's doing that. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I'm not really sure. But anyways, there is access to the top. You kind of have to just maneuver your way around. So you kind of have to just connect to one of these platforms here. Slowly but surely get up there, and I'll kind of show you what we're looking at. Do a little jump. You have access to a little bit of metal here. Right on that side, too, there's another loot drop. It's about right there, roughly. So right on the edge of that... this is easier to use. Right there, there's basically another drop. Most of the time, it's actually a purple drop, so it's actually pretty good for this map. Let's use the second one to get up here, though, and I can kind of show you what the top looks like here. You could also utilize this area, honestly. So what we could do is... This is all flat up here too, so you can actually use this for another portion of the base. Now, you do want to be careful. Once in a while, you will get a spawn up here, so maybe what you could even do is just cover this with foundations so you lose the possible spawns. Because you could get megalosauruses up here, so yeah, not really the best, honestly. The one big downside to picking this base location, though, is this waterfall right here. As you can see, it's a little hard to see in the distance. There is of course my thing's going to be in the way here, there's a Carcanos right there, which, I don't know, I feel like if they're fighting and whatnot, one could easily fall, and then it's pretty much right onto your base, so that's going to be a decent downside to this base, but we can always push the base back a little bit further. I'm not really sure, but I do really actually genuinely like the spot to build a base in. This would be the preferred location because, again, it is a waterfall base, but, like, I don't know. I mean, you can't beat that view, honestly. You really just can't. And it's no big deal. We're not going to really take full damage, so I'm not really concerned about that. But overall, I mean, it just looks really, really nice. I feel like we could go a little nuts here and make it a pretty cool looking base. I think all the locations we could really make them look really, really cool. Big downside to this, though, is actually getting here. There's a lot of dangerous stuff on the way because you're in the middle of the bioluminescent biome. So, I mean, it takes a bit to get here. And if I'm doing this with a couple, like, Ravagers to have to move everything over, it's going to be a bit of a trek, honestly. But the other option is I could always just take a few trips over with a, just use cryopods, basically, and just cryopod all the dinos over here, and just take a lot of trips to actually move everything over. Another pro, obviously, is the amount of metal. We're in the bioluminescent biome. There's a ton of metal here. Yeah, I really do dig this location, honestly. I feel like it would be an interesting build. I feel like the other ones are a little bit safer, but this is just like, I don't know, just looks really, really, really nice. I do have to figure out that gas collector problem, though, because that's gonna be a big issue if this is not going to, like, it'll collect, it looks like. Maybe it's not collecting anymore. Ooh, that's weird. Every 30 seconds it should collect one, so let's watch. This is when it's going to go off and I'm going to get poisoned. I don't think it's oh no, it is collecting. Okay, that's really weird. I don't know what's going on with it then. I may just have to, like, take it off and then put it back on. I don't even know if I can do that. But anyways, let me show you the last, let me show you the coordinates one last time. 4771. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so 4771 for the last one. Guys, that's going to be it, though, for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button. Questions, comments, leave them down below. Let me know. Comment. Let me know. Get your vote in on where we're going to build this next base. So let's just kind of go through each one more time. Not sure why I have the GPS out, because we're not going to be able to read them. Base number 1 was the waterfall base in the green zone region. That was the first one that we went to. If you guys do watch Flinger Foo, he built here in his season 4. He actually did stone cliff platforms on the actual trees. We would do our main base just on the waterfall, but it is a decent area to work with, and it's really safe. Downside to that is access to the bioluminescent biome, and then at that point also access to the biohazard area. Base number 2. Base number 2 is over by the other waterfall that connects the green area to the bioluminescent area. It's a little more dangerous over there. There's a lot of Spino spawns, there's a lot of Sarco spawns, there's a lot of Piranha spawns, because we are going to have to build plenty of pillars, which means I'm going to have to go in the water. Probably die a lot too, but that's okay. But again, it's a dangerous spot, but it's safer than obviously the bioluminescent biome spots. Base number 3 was up on the cliff. It's actually right up there, basically, is that little outpost that we were looking at before. So again, not too bad of a spot. The only downside with that is access to water. We do have access to water. We are on the ground, though, so we do have to watch out, because you will actually have Nameless here. If I do shut off the light, we will get Nameless that will start spawning in the next few seconds. So you'll start seeing them coming out of the ground. There we go. And I'm not going to bother with this. I'm just going to turn it off. Which eventually we will have to fight Nameless, because Nameless is Nameless basically once in a while will give you like a Nameless gland or something like that you have to use to tame rock drakes. So that is something we'll have to do eventually, but it's not something I'm going to want to have to deal with on a daily basis. If we did pick a base like this, I would just have to build a little bit higher, that's all. Which is going to require more material, but it is what it is. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, which base you guys want to see a build on. So, base number 1, easy waterfall. Base number 2, a little bit more of a difficult area, waterfall. Base number 3, way up high on the bioluminescent. Or base 4, right here, which we have the crystal waterfall, maybe. I don't know what we want to call it, but that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, smash that like button. Let me know in the comments down below which one you guys want to see the build in. And if you do like the content that I'm putting out, definitely subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And in the next episode, whichever one you guys pick, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to build the base. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Put your vote in, and we'll go from there. So until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.